Okay, so you want your wife back, right? Essentially what you need to do is you need to become more of a man than you ever have been before. You need to become a more attractive man to her than you were when you first fell in love with each other, right? You need to be even better than you were before. You can't just be as good as you were when you first fell in love, right? You've really got to improve who you are as a man. You've got to become more emotionally, mentally strong. If you're not doing it already, you've really got to get clear on your purpose in life, and you've got to start going after that and rising through the levels of your true potential as a man. You've really got to go after that instead of sort of hiding back. You may have been hiding back behind her, behind the relationship with her, behind the marriage, from your real potential as a man. You've also got to become the sort of guy that women naturally feel sexually attracted to, right? So the thing is, getting your wife back, it's a big deal, right? She's not going to just get back with you for the sake of the marriage in most cases. In the past, in the early 1900s, when the divorce rate was less than 10%, people felt ashamed to get divorced because most people lived fairly close to their family, and society at that time really believed in marriage, and it was seen as blasphemous to break up and to divorce, and it was really shameful and things like that, and people would often get shunned from their family for divorcing and things. So it's a really big deal. But unfortunately, in today's world, a lot of TV presenters, TV dramas, Hollywood movies, music videos, celebrity idols, etc., put messages out there saying that divorce is okay. Actually, divorce is cool. Look at this woman. She was with a husband and had a bad relationship, and she dumped him, got her a divorce payout, got Botox and a boob job, and now look, she's got this young lover who's really handsome, got six-pack abs. All that sort of stuff is coming at women, 24/7 across the world. So unless your ex-wife really feels ashamed of the divorce and really feels like she needs to get back with you to redeem her status amongst family and redeem her pride, then it's going to be a challenge for you. What you need to do is to really fix your issues and improve yourself as a man before you attempt to get her back. Now, as of today, making this video, I've helped about 150 men get their wife back, right, since releasing my Get Your Ex Back program. Usually guys come to me to get their girlfriend back, and fiance and things is a very small percentage, but increasingly I'm really getting approached by a lot of guys who need to get a wife back. And each situation is different. There's going to be unique challenges that you and her have experienced throughout the relationship, but really what it comes down to is the core issues. Right now, in the relationship, she would have lost respect for you as a man, and then she would have lost attraction for you as a result, and then she would have fallen out of love with you. Right? So in order for a relationship to stay together, the woman needs to respect you, she needs to feel sexual and emotional attraction for you, and she also needs to love you. Right? But in a relationship, a lot of guys, they tend to make mistakes, for example, being insecure, being too protective, taking her for granted, not being enough of a man, hiding from your true potential, behind the marriage, etc. They tend to make a lot of mistakes like that over the years, and the woman's respect for the guy goes down, 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 until she eventually starts to lose attraction for him as a man, because look, she doesn't respect him, and then as a result, she can't feel attraction for him. That's just the way it works. And then when she loses enough attraction for you, then she starts to fall out of love with you, because it's like, well, this seems like more of a convenient sort of friendship. We're just living together, sort of like housemates. You may have kids together, and it's really sad to even discuss that, but it's the reality of modern relationships. And that doesn't mean anything to her, that, okay, well, we're going to divorce and I'll take care of the kids. Women can think like that. When the respect and attraction isn't there and she's just not feeling it anymore, then her heart starts to wander. And she starts to think, well, I'm watching all this stuff on TV, of all these housewives that are unhappy and then they go have an affair or they get a divorce and then they're so happy, seeing all these music videos and listening to all these pop songs talking about women who had unsatisfactory men and then dumped them and then got on with their lives and now they're so happy. I'm seeing this talk show host talk about how she got divorced and now she's so happy. My parents don't have too much of a problem with it. My friends at work don't have too much of a problem with it. In fact, my good friend at work just got divorced. She's got all that around her. Then it's only natural that a lot of modern women at that point are going to say, well, I'm going to do it too. right? So that doesn't mean that you can't get her back, right? If you want to get her back, you really need to focus on fixing yourself, right? Fixing your issues as a man and improving yourself and becoming better than you ever were when you first fell in love with her, right? You've got to become a more attractive and valuable option, an attractive option to her, right? Rather than these other men that she can potentially have. You know, if your wife is still very pretty, or she can have a wide range of men who are like to date women of her age, etc. You've got to become a better option than them. And the way that you do that is you've got to get her respect back, make her attracted to you again, and then she will start to open her heart up to loving you again, and then you go through the process, right? So if you want help with that, I have a system, right, that I've developed over many years, and it's a 7-step system. By the 7th step, you're back with her, right? So I can guarantee that you will at least get her to meet up with you, and then you can use my techniques to get her respect back, get her attraction, etc., and have an attempt at starting the relationship. I can guarantee that. But if you really use my system properly, you're pretty much guaranteed to get that marriage back together. I can't sit here and say, okay, look, 100% guaranteed you're going to get your marriage back, because that's just not the case at all. But I do know from my vast experience now helping out a lot of guys to get their ex back, their ex-girlfriend, their ex-fiancé, their ex-wife, is that it is possible, and it does happen very often. I was actually surprised by that, because when I first started The Modern Man, my objective was to teach guys how to pick up women, because what happened to me, I got dumped by a girl, right? And I couldn't get back with her because there was no internet teaching, guys how to be successful with women, and there was no real advice out there to help me, and I couldn't get my ex back. So I eventually had to force myself to improve my confidence and social skills, etc., so I could go out there and pick up women and have my choice of women. And as it turns out, I actually worked out the secrets to getting women to try to pick you up, etc., and it completely changed my life. I became a confident alpha male, and then I left my corporate job and I started teaching guys how to approach and pick up women and get women trying to pick them up. All right, so that was going on for many years, and then eventually I started getting asked by guys, hey, can you help me get my ex back? And I said, hey man, I don't know about that. I couldn't do that back when I got dumped, but I started helping guys out. Right? I started doing a bit of phone coaching, helping guys out, and eventually it all started to make sense to me. It's like, oh, okay, right. So this is happening and that's happening. Yeah, what you got to do is this, this, and this, and this. And then the client would try it, and then the client would come back to me, tell me about his success, and if he was having problems, most of the time he just wasn't doing it right, but sometimes it was a really difficult situation and he couldn't get her back. But eventually I developed a system that has now helped thousands of guys, right? Thousands of guys that have invested in my system have gotten back with their ex. So if you want to get back with your wife, if you want a step-by-step system, check out my system called Get Your Ex Back Super System.